Welcome to Mash on This, Mashable's daily culture and entertainment show that gives you tomorrow's biggest news stories today. I'm your host, Ed Henry, who still has all his baby teeth, also known as Dory Greenberg. On Mash on This, we give you a quick rundown of what we think is the best the internet has to offer. So be sure to tell us what you think in the comments, and we'll get to them at the end of the show. Now, let's get into it. It seems like only last week that we got introduced to Anthony Scaramucci, but as of yesterday, he was ousted from his role as White House Communications Director. 10 whole days he lasted, which, of course, led everybody to collectively think about this classic rom-com at the same damn time. Apparently, he technically hadn't even started yet. His official start date was supposed to be August 15th. And this extremely brief time frame is shocking enough. But what's possibly more shocking is that Scaramucci is the 5th person from the Donald Trump White House team to depart in a relatively short amount of time. It's like, just when we start to understand who these characters are and become invested in learning what they're about, they are then suddenly ripped away from us without warning. And this feels kind of familiar. Oh, right. That's because it's exactly what Game of Thrones does every time. Except this is very much real life, and there are no flying dragons in America yet. Mashable's own Chris Taylor wrote a fabulous think piece about how the Trump administration is out plot twisting Game of Thrones, so be sure to check it out on Mashable.com. Pew, pew, pew. But because we aren't exactly ready to let go of the headline goldmine that is the Mooch, we're going to discuss his beef with Reince Priebus because that bucket of drama seems to be bottomless. According to CNN, a self-proclaimed email prankster posed as the former White House chief of staff from a mail.com account and reached out to Scaramucci the day after Priebus stepped down. The exchange went a little something like this. Not Reince Priebus, the not guy, wrote, "I had promised myself I would leave my hands mud-free, but after reading your tweet today, which stated how soon we will learn who is in the media, who has class, and who hasn't, has me pushed to this. That tweet was breathtakingly hypocritical, even for you. At no stage have you acted in a way that's even remotely classy, yet you believe that's the standard which everyone should behave towards you. General Kelly will do a fine job. I'll even admit he'll do a better job than me. But the way in which that transition has come about has been diabolical and hurtful. I don't expect a reply." Scaramucci, the real Scaramucci, replies, "You know what you did. We all do, even today. But rest assured, we were prepared. A man would apologize." Again, not Reince Priebus, responded with, I can't believe you're questioning my ethics. The so-called Mooch who can't even manage his first week in the White House without leaving upset in his wake. I have nothing to apologize for. And finally, Scaramucci, again, the real Scaramucci, told not Reince Priebus to read Shakespeare, particularly Othello. "You are right there. My family is fine, by the way, and will thrive. You know what you did." No more replies from me. What did Reince Priebus do? What part of Othello does he need to read? Who knew Scaramucci was such a Shakespeare buff? I have so many questions, and I won't be able to ask them since the Mooch's government-issued email address is no longer active. Single tear. It was fun while it lasted, Tony. Thanks for being such a PR nightmare. You will be missed. In tech news, some pretty scary stuff has happened to the people we love most. Grandmas and grandpas. Apple and Google have removed hundreds of financial trading apps from their app stores following an investigation suggesting that thousands of people may have been scammed, many of them seniors who reportedly lost their entire life savings. The Independent reports that the scams are associated with so-called binary options trading, meaning these platforms encourage investors to make bets on whether shares or currencies will rise or fall in value over time. Persuaded to use lump sum payments from their pension funds to invest in these platforms, after the Australian Securities and Investments Commission got involved and released a statement saying it had conducted a sweeping review of mobile app stores focusing on those associated with so-called binary options trading and found that 330 apps that appeared to be unlicensed, it turns out Nana and Papa were right. You really can't trust technology. It's not every day that a hero comes along wearing a cyan top from Dragon Ball, solving a Rubik's Cube with his eyes closed while riding the New York City subway. What, you don't believe me? See for yourself. This is sorcery. This guy is clearly the chosen one. Thank you to Sheldon Sirkin for posting this on Twitter, for it was you who found the only person who can save us all. Probably. Remember a couple days ago when Chris Christie was spotted in the wild at a Mets game? Well, that outing was such a success that he decided to try his hand at it again. This weekend, he didn't have much success, sadly. While outdoors at another Mets game, a man named Brad Joseph spotted him in the stands and said, "Hey, Christie, you suck." Let's see how the governor of the state of New Jersey reacted to that.
Appreciate that.
What did he say to you?
Huh?
There was a Secret Service right there.
What did he say?
I don't know, you want to act like a big shot?
So the guy who filmed this video just so happens to be a journalist from a local Wisconsin news outlet. And Joseph told him that Christie got up into his face, as seen in the video, and then proceeded to yell insults like big shot and tough guy at the man. Clearly, Chris Christie was upset about getting such direct criticism during his day out. But he was also probably upset about this new bill that was approved today by the New York Jersey State Assembly that prohibits the use of state-owned property that is exclusively or primarily for the use of the governor during budget-related government shutdowns. This bill that only 4 people out of 67 did not vote in favor of was basically a way to reprimand Christie for relaxing on a state beach in early July while his constituents weren't able to because of the government shutdown. But if Christie can't close the beaches all for himself, then maybe more people will tell him he sucks while wearing a bathing suit and his fragile ego won't be able to handle it. Or maybe he shouldn't be a public servant if he doesn't know how to be in public property. Properly or property? Neither of them. Kid drawings are fun, especially when a child gets strangely specific and accurate about very grown-up aspects in their work. A mom named Penny Roletter experienced this recently when her 5-year-old son came home with this rendering of a family portrait. When she asked what the red spot near her private area was, he simply replied, "That's your period." So this is hilarious that he is so aware of what periods are at such a young age, let alone that he would even think it was important enough to include in a portrait of his mother. But as Penny explained it to the Daily Mail, she had pulmonary embolism in last October, and blood thinners she was on made her periods really bad. So her son would follow her to the bathroom a lot and ask if she was okay. Yeah. You're awing to yourself right now, which is the proper reaction because that is straight up innocence at its most adorable. And we need more sons that are not only aware of periods, but celebrate them in their art.